Hey everybody, Grant here. Excuse me. Um, so for those of you who wasn't able to make the really short notice meeting yesterday, I wanted to make a quick video and talk about the platform we were looking at. So I did a demo for a company called Zoodealio yesterday. So Zoodealio is basically an iBuying platform, but whereas most iBuyer platforms like Open Door and whatnot are going around agents and attempting to circumvent agents and brokerages and all that, what Zoodealio does is they actually partner with brokers. And so effectively, for a practical purpose, the way this would work would be, let's say you got a listing request or you got a listing appointment or whatever, and you have the address. The first thing you would do is start working on your CMA, and you've got your appointment set with your client. But once you start working on your CMA, you would take that address and you would input that address into Zoodealio's platform. And within 24 to 72 hours, they'll send you a list of options for that person. So it might be bridge loans. It might be a purchase where they buy the house from them and lease it back to them. It might be cash offers. It varies by the market. It varies by the state. It varies by a number of other things. But in some markets, they're incredibly aggressive. Like in Arizona and Florida, they're incredibly aggressive with pricing. In some markets, they're not as aggressive on pricing. But the cool thing is that number one, no matter what they choose when you go to that listing appointment, you're going to get paid. So if you list it, and then we're going to get our 1%, just like normal. But if a cash buyer buys it, so let's say you tell them they can get 450 on the open market, and a cash buyer makes an offer of 425 and lets them pick their closing date, and they decide, you know what, I want the sure thing. Okay, then you would get 2.5%. So you would represent the seller in that situation, and the investor would buy it just like any other situation, but you get 2.5%. If Zoodealio purchases it and then does a lease back to them while they find a house, then you get 2.5%. I mean, it's pretty amazing. And in a lot of the scenarios, you're going to wind up making 2.5% for the transfer to the iBuyer, and then the iBuyer will use you to list it once that person moves out or once whatever happens. So it's a very interesting platform. As of right now, it's not as prevalent in Louisiana, but I know I talked to Michael Cincamano in Tampa Bay, and they are competing with iBuyers all day long. So I don't necessarily see this as something that's going to replace us listing homes. What I see this is just something else we could offer to a seller to give them choice. And my philosophy, and everybody can have their own, but my philosophy is we're not there to be their parents and tell them what they can and can't consider. We're there to show them the options and the pros and the cons of each option. And so while it's probably going to be better almost every single time for them to hit the open market with their house, it might be a succession property and they just want mom and dad's house gone. This might be in the middle of a divorce and they're just like, you know what, I'm ready to be done. And if they make that choice to take a few less dollars, but to be able to pick their closing date and to have it be done and out of their lives, I mean, it's not our spot to tell them that they can't consider that. So I look at this as just something else we can offer. 95% of the time, it's just going to be a marketing tool for us to get in front of more people and open more doors. But there's going to be times when people choose that. And so for the people that are going to choose that, without this option, they're going to go to iBuyers, or they're going to go to somebody else, Open Door, Knock, or whoever it is, and then we're going to lose a deal. But in this situation, we would actually gain a deal, maybe 2 deals. And we would make more money than we typically make gaining that deal. We would make, essentially a buyer side commission of 2.5 as opposed to a listing commission of 1. So I think it makes a lot of sense. It's a subscription-based service, so it's going to cost like $1,000 to enroll all the agents per month. And so we're looking at what we want to do with that, and how we want to handle that. But it seems like a really interesting thing, and I could see where we could come up with some great marketing tools to, hire us full service for 1%. We also can bring you an instant cash offer. We can also provide bridge loans. We can provide all these different things to give people more choice, which, the more options we can give people, it's going to just drive us more and more and more business, which is the point of the whole thing, right? So look up Zoodealio. I sent everybody an email that has information about it. There's a bunch of people that have already said they want to do a Zoom meeting with this guy next week and see what that looks like and see what they think about it. But anyways, for those of you who missed the meeting, this is what it was about. And I mean, on the surface, I think it makes a lot of sense, and it just gives our clients more options, which I think is always a good thing. So this is Grant. Let me know if you have any questions. I'm going to throw this in the franchisee section now. Thank you.